All right, next item on our agenda is curriculum guide and course fees 2013-2014.
Okay, so under our policy 6:40, I believe it is, it's the curriculum development for the Board of Education. And it says on an annual basis, on a regular basis, I should be reviewing that curriculum with the administration. So one of the things that I talked about this year with Pam while we are in the process of a graduate requirements ad hoc committee, we have some stability in staffing and with the budget. We need to look at how we're staffing current classes and how we're running current classes under the budget, and if there should be things made to those current classes and current class sizes before we would look at adding new courses or anything of that nature. So we've kind of put a moratorium on for this year of adding new courses. Plus, with the way this was on in previous agendas and with the new operational calendar I put in place, the timeline isn't very good. We had 4 new department chairs that started in August, and there's to propose new course fees or course changes by October. There's not enough time to vet it out thoroughly at the building and then at the district level and eventually through the board at a committee of the whole and a board meeting. So I'm going to be switching this on the operational calendar so that we can start these discussions at the building and district level in the springtime, so then there's at least 2 or 3 months that they could be vetted publicly with the board if there's changes to the curriculum or if there's a facility or a curriculum council meeting, those types of things, so that when we would bring it in October for a vote, there's a little more time to vet and look at data and study it a little more. There are some minor changes that just need to occur, and it says that in our policy that those should be done on a regular basis and reviewed to align and tighten up the curriculum. The first one was the wellness department with the outdoor education. We're just going to combine that, the challenge education, and just the use of the forest preserve and some of the activities we were doing with the forest preserve. The county had raised some concerns, and it became more of an issue, so it was easier to just combine it. We could do everything on site here and still meet the same skills.
Could you explain what those, it was unclear what you meant, the activities you were doing with the forest preserve?
Well, I don't want to be respectful of some of our conversations with the forest preserve, but one activity was like shelter building.
Oh, like, I wasn't clear, like what
Yeah,
kind
there
of
was just some
activities?
things that were disrupting and causing some additional concerns for the forest preserve outside of the class running, that as they began to put more things curtailing our activities there, it was no use to go there.
So it's meant to be like physical education, and so these were like physical exercises that they were to do outside, like survival type?
Yes.
Okay, okay, and so
Yes.
the forest preserve probably thought it wasn't healthy or conducive to their environment or whatever.
They had their thoughts.
They had their
thoughts, and it
Yeah.
was,
Okay.
so it was easier for us to do a lot of this, put it in one course and have it on campus.
Okay.
Like man versus wild could come.
World Language Department, our native speakers, on their second level, native speakers 2 aligns directly with the Honor Spanish 4 curriculum, but with the classification under our ESL and second language learners and native speakers, it's this almost identical curriculum, a little more advanced. There's 2 or 3 additional pieces that Pam shared with me today, but it aligns exactly with the Spanish 4 honors. So just to be consistent, they should be given honors credit as well. That was one change. And then the third, dance classes and repertory dance, and this just, as we continue to study some of this through the Graduation Requirement Committee, and to be consistent with our PE waivers, in the past, if you took repertory dance, which was a year-long dance course that's not only intense in the fine and performing arts, but also in physical activity, they were waiving your PE credit while giving you fine arts credit. And our PE waiver, nor does our policy allow you to waive PE for dance. So I'm more or less just flipping that so that if you take repertoire dance, you'll get your PE credit and you're able to waive your half credit of fine arts to align with our PE waiver system. So that's just become more consistent with our PE waivers.
And just to answer the question on that, the teacher is certified in both fine arts and physical education.
It would have to be though, right, if it's a PE teacher?
Yeah.
That's an odd combination.
It is. She got her certification in PE in order to ensure if this needed to happen in the future, it could happen. So she actually teaches PE classes as well this year. She
Right.
teaches
Most
freshman
schools
PE.
allow dance to live in the
Okay.
PE department because it's a lot of, most of your PE teachers have to take 9 to 12 hours of dance courses and the physical activity and rigor that's in there. On that side, would be similar to waiving a PE for a marching band.
Okay.
Okay.
And then also the other thing that's attached here, so there's really no significant, the only thing I would think the board may possibly need to vote on, if they would even need to vote on any of this, would just be the awarding honors credit to the Spanish 2 class, native speakers class. The other things are just curriculum changes in the curriculum guide that I'm updating the board on. The thing that the board would need to approve is anything with the collection of money, and something that Pam has identified is that a lot of the course fees that were in the curriculum guide were not the full course fees. And it would list one general lab fee or course fee for that course, and then those students on the first day or second day would then go down to the bookstore and purchase a workbook, or go on Amazon and purchase a paperback novel or some things like that. So what we wanted to identify was all the course fees that would be associated with a course to be upfront with the communication to the parents and to the families.
So that's what happened with contemporary literature and American studies. We went from 0, then we had
Necessarily fee increases. People were paying these, but they weren't appearing in the curriculum guide, and they weren't paying for them. I spoke to a parent who said it would be nice to, when we're going through the summer registration, to have those appearing, or even when we get our course verifications for what our kids are taking, that those those workbooks and extra things, if it's film that kids are buying for the photography class, that those would appear, so we would have an estimate, or if it's a supplemental novel. And so now it will all be in the curriculum guide, and it will be attached to the courses when you get your course verification sheet. There was an update, I think that everybody has now, where I recognized there were 2 missing off of here, and those were our English as a second language, reading and writing. We omitted that workbook, and our English as a second language U.S. government. So those have been added, and now your form is complete.
So Pam, on that fee, is there any way where a student wouldn't have to pay the entire fee? Like maybe they got a novel from another student or a sibling or something? How would that work?
I think that most of those novels are identified for the students after they start, but they would at least know that that would be a part of the class. It was never shown that they were going to be buying supplemental novels, so it gives them forewarning on whether they want to go out. And my goal will be that they have that information, so they could seek it on their own if they want, borrow it from somebody, or buy it from us. It's just trying to be more transparent for everybody, so they see up front what is connected with every course. We held most of the fees identical to what they were. A couple of them were reduced, but I just thought that it was helpful for people to be able to see this all when they're looking at the courses, so that they know up front how they want to resolve that. If they want to get it on their own, is fine.
Any other questions for Kevin or Pam?
I have a couple of questions.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to note that this will do for families, if they were getting a payment plan, it gives them all that information up front, rather than, one parent was saying they had 3 children and they were going down for this workbook on one day, for another workbook on another day, and they had already gotten a payment plan over the summer, but these were not a part of it. So it will help families, I think, that are struggling with all of our fees. Yes, Mr. Walsh.
My first question was, is there supposed to be some connection between some cost bases and what the fees are, or we just make a list and it's just an extra fee people pay to be in the class?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Is there supposed to be some connection between the fees that are on this list and some cost for the class, or Is it just,
Yes.
I mean, because if jazz dance 1 is $15 and jazz dance 2 is $4.
But what they do is actually they collect the money, the fees are to be used that year to get materials for the students, and they're supposed to be used up in that year. So, for instance, when fees, last year, a number of fees in the wellness department decreased because particular activities they were doing, it cost less, and so they modified it to not, I mean, if they weren't doing rollerblading or something, they were able to save money by doing some other activities. So the idea is they really are supposed to pay attention, or if some chemicals go up in chemistry class, they have to adjust. So this is that dance they do. They're being asked, here we are in October, they're being asked to do this, but some of these costs will increase over the summer
Sure.
when they're ordering the materials. So there's a little bit of a lag, and they try and get it as accurate as they can.
So like all this foreign languages, there's no cost during the year for those classes because they're all zero at the bottom of the last page.
Right, except for they all get these workbooks that are consumable, so they have
Right.
to buy those, right.
Okay.
I have a question. I recollect, and tell me if I'm wrong, the AP courses, we have to pay, the school district has to pay a certain fee for those?
Right, that is the test fee, so.
Right, so have we already been locked into next year's cost?
I believe that is.
$87.
I believe that's correct, that they haven't given
So
us
they
an
already
increase.
notified the district that next year's is gonna be 87?
It might go up. We always put a little disclaimer in there that this fee is set by the, college board. and
Okay, so
if
this
it
one
goes up-
will go, it's a direct, we're not making money on it, but.
We don't
but
make money on
we
it.
Just recognize right now it's 87, but in
That's
our
correct.
curriculum guide, we
And we have the
caveat it
disclaimer.
saying, okay.
That's right.
It's not
Thank you.
uncommon for districts to charge $5 or $7 extra for every AP test, because they usually use it to pay the sub-cost.
Right, and I
or something like that.
recollect that we're not trying to make money on that, but
We're not.
I just didn't know if we had notification yet that was to go up. or
I'm not
stay
sure
down.
if we have, this is the same as last year, so either they
Right.
didn't raise it or we haven't gotten notification, but we always say that that's set by the college board and could go up.
Okay.
And could you elaborate a little? I still don't quite understand why. Is there a state requirement why we can't combine native, Spanish for native speakers
Yes.
too? If they're exactly the same
Yes,
class?
they are. It's a mandated bilingual course
Oh.
because they're native speakers, and so
Well, aren't
we.
we bilingual by nature, being in the advanced Spanish course?
It's teaching them at 100% in their target language, and they're moving at a different speed. So it's
Okay.
taught by a certified bilingual teacher.
Okay.
And
That's
so
required.
all the Spanish teachers couldn't teach this class, but Maggie Acevedo is certified to do so. So it is, and we have enough students actually this year that we have a Heritage Speakers 1 and a Heritage Speakers 2, which you should keep separate. So that, I think that would answer your question.
It does, thank you.
All right,
How
any other
many
questions?
I'm sorry, how many students in these classes?
We have 21 and 19 at present, so I think in November I'm going to update you with where the requests came in and where the actual counts came. And then we have 85 students in 3 sections of Honors Spanish 4 at about 28.3 a section. So those are impressive numbers for a school this size, that we have that many students at that higher level that are continuing in the language, so that's exciting. And our heritage level speakers actually end up they're the only ones that can get to the second AP class. All of our students get to if they stay in 4 years, get to AP Spanish language, but these students will get to the literature in their 4th year. So it's wonderful that we have that many.
All right, any other questions?
Are we voting on this?
Yes, we are voting on this. Do I have a motion? Should be a motion.
Resolved that the Board of Education Township High School District 208, it's one of 96,
What?
Cook County,
Yes.
Cook County, Illinois, hereby authorizes the recommended adjustments to the 2013-2014 curriculum guide and course fees included in the classification of Spanish for native speakers 2, from regular to honors, as presented in the October 9th, 2012 board agenda packet.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Gary Gryczan. Any other discussion? Mary Ann?
Mr. Moon?
Aye.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Gryczan?
Yes.
Ms. Hruska?
Yes.
Dr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Sinde?
Okay, we are going to be heading towards our closed session, and since we have a very big crowd out there, we have one more chance to have visitor statements. Bob Skolnick, do you have anything to say today?
No comment.
Okay, no comment. Thank you very much. All right, do I have a motion to go into closed session? Hello, Gary?
I can find it. Resolved that the Board of Education Township High School District 208, Cook County, Illinois enters closed session for the purpose of considering appointment, employment, or dismissal of employees, collective bargaining issues, and litigation.
Second.
Second by Dan Moon. Mary Ann?
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Welch?
Yes.
Mr. Gryczan?
Yes.
Ms. Hruska?
Yes.
Dr. Kuhn?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Yes.
Mr. Sinde?
Yes. Okay, we're done. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
10 minutes?
Have a safe night. 10 minutes.
Thank you,
It's
sir.
right now 9:05 in the morning, 9:05 at night. I'll see you at 9:15 in the district conference room.